I allow the body to sit quietly, I become aware of the many different energies that make up life. As the body sits quietly, I'm aware of the physical, the biological energies of this valuable instrument of mine. For a little while, I would like to turn my attention away from my physical energies and focus my energy inwards. Consciously, I allow this physical instrument of mine to let go of the tension in the muscles. My feet, my legs, my back, my arms, my shoulders, my neck, and even the muscles in my face. I let go of the tension of hanging on, and everything becomes calm and relaxed. Now, instead of looking outwards, I allow my mind to look within. Seeing the world outside, I choose for a few moments not to see it. I let the sounds of the external world fade into the background so that they are no longer a distraction. And on the screen of my mind, I visualize a point of light. I can locate this point of light specifically. As the body sits quietly, I become aware of the life force, the source of life, in the center of my forehead, just behind. This is who I am. I am a point of eternal light. In this awareness of my eternal form, I gather the full force of my energy within. I know I am the master of this physical instrument. I can now direct the way in which my physical senses function. What it is I see through these eyes, what it is I choose to communicate through my lips, even what it is I wish to absorb from the information coming to me through my ears. I, the being of light, the eternal soul, am the creator. I, this point of infinitesimal energy, am the master. Becoming aware of this, am able to send out light and life throughout this physical body, and use this body for that which is constructive, that which is filled with goodness.
We're about to go on a journey that enables us to regenerate our powers, our Shakti. We are about to reconnect with the highest source of all beauty, all power, all love. Imagine that you can see on the screen of your mind a tiny star. You might see or sense this. Either is fine. The star is pure light. Be aware of this star. Tune into this star. Feel the frequency of this tiny point of pure light. And now simply transfer your awareness, your sense of self across and into that star, into that light. Into that light. Feel that you have become the light. Into that light. Pure freedom. Feel that you have eternal energy, the light. Into that light. Pure freedom. Feel that you have eternal energy. Feel the lightness of being. In being just pure tiny point. Feel that you have eternal energy. Feel the lightness of being. As you easily, naturally and gently sit in the awareness of being pure energy, it's as if an ancient part of you starts to remember, to connect with the source, the beginning. Tuning in now to this memory as it becomes a powerful ray of pure light, a golden pathway that gently shoots upwards from you, the star, and travels to the source. As you naturally glide with the ease of being light along that pathway of light, you arrive in a world of pure energy. Pure, warm, golden red light, vital, yet so calm. Gently, ever so gently, you are pulled to the very core of the source of power. Diving fully and easily into that source. natural. Floating in the purity of this gentle power, deeply letting go, allowing. At one, overflowing energy, light, power. In a moment, we're going to make the return journey, knowing that you can always come back, because this is your memory, your relationship with the Source, with God. And so, effortlessly gathering your awareness, bringing with you the memory and the stillness and the power of the Source. Travel easily along your golden pathway, back to the star on the screen of your mind, bringing with you the peace, clarity, and power of your inward and upward journey. In your own time, and when you're ready, become aware of your breathing, your body, the sounds around you. And now bring your conscious awareness back to this room and, holding the experience open, your eyes.
Om Shanti, everyone. Good afternoon. And on behalf of Brahma Kumaris Silicon Valley, we welcome you for this webinar. Today, to rewrite your story. I'm happy that you all joined, knowing that we all can rewrite our story at any point of time. So today, we will start doing that. Let's start with a couple of minutes of meditation. Sit comfortably. Relax your body. Relax your feet. Relax your legs. Relax your back. Relax your neck. Relax your facial muscles also. Feel completely relaxed. Take a slow, deep breath in and breathe out. Another slow, deep breath in and breathe out. As you breathe in, inhale the calmness. As you breathe out, let go of anything that's holding the body or the mind. As you breathe in, with every breath in, focus your thoughts more and more inwards. I keep a pause for all the daily activities for the next hour. I speak to my mind with love that this is the time for myself to reflect, to rewrite my story. My mind becomes calm, still, and crystal clear like pure water to help me to reflect and to rewrite my story. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. If possible, have a pen or a pencil and a book with you. So we'll start doing some things while we are going through the webinar. Just keep something handy to put your thoughts down. So we all are here that we know that we can rewrite our story. We all know that nobody else is writing our story, that I, myself, am writing this story. So with that firm belief and with that responsibility and with that power to rewrite our stories, we'll begin. Just to get some inspiration from people who we know already, we'll look into that, we'll go more forward. So I think almost all of us know, and some of you, if you do not know, there is this story of Valmiki, the one who wrote Ramayana, right? So we all know that some circumstances to help his family, that he had to become a thief to get some earning. He didn't know that was the right thing, that was not the right thing, but he could not help himself, so he became that. But as he was going through his life, he met some gurus, and then he had some understanding of this knowledge of the life and everything. And then suddenly he could rewrite his story, and he became a famous poet to write some very, very important epics and all to help millions of people around the world. But it just happened with one realization. He was just any other regular person, but with that one realization, and he put things into practice that made him who he is now. And then we also know Gautam Buddha. He also was the son of a very big king, and he did not know what the outside world was like as he was growing up. But once he went out, he saw the suffering, he saw the happiness, and he saw a lot of suffering. And he wanted to know what is the cause of the suffering and how he can remove that suffering. And he worked on it and he meditated, he did a lot of tapasya, and then he found out peace comes from within. Do not seek it from outside. So that's what the realization and he had, and he helped millions of people to realize that fact and to change their lives. So he rewrote his story and helped millions of people again to rewrite their stories. And if we think that these are the people like big people and all people of the old world and all, if we think, we do have a lot of examples in our life in front of our eyes, right? So in other field, if we take Miss J.K. Rowling, she had so much going on in the family for herself, to help herself and her daughter in the family and all. But she kept writing what she wanted to. And people initially did not believe in her writings also. But we all know what's Harry Potter and what's all about J.K. Rowling today. So her persistence, her realization of her strengths and her persistence, her faith helped her rewrite the story and give entertainment to many. And then we also see Mr. Tim Berners-Lee. He was doing his regular scientist engineer job, and he was writing all these things. And one day he helped get this World Wide Web. So he not only rewrote his story creating that, but again he helped the whole world to get the information at the fingertips and to help people find what is their passion, how they can achieve all the knowledge and everything he became responsible for the whole world. So we have so many examples in front of our eyes. In India, we have politicians who came from selling tea, and then we have big heroes who came from being bus conductors, and also they all rewrote their stories with realization of their own strengths, reflecting what they wanted to do, and with the help of the self, the divine, the universe, everything came in place when the things start from inside. So with that inspiration, we will start. So this part, we all are very sure that we are the authors of our lives, no one else. So no blaming, no putting responsibility on others, taking the whole responsibility and power in our hands, and knowing that every day we have this opportunity to write a new page. With that, we'll go forward. One very important thing to start rewriting our story, we have to put a full stop to the what happened before. We have to take all the learning from what happened before, but we can't keep going back. We can't keep going back. We have only two choices: either going back and getting stuck in the back, or focusing on the present and thinking of the future and working for the future. So it is our choice. So we can't truly begin until we are able to say goodbye to the legacies of yesterday at will. So whatever happened, that happened, but we can start where we are and change the ending. We cannot change the past. So we will move forward without looking backwards, keeping all the learning and experiences from the past. So we'll look it in kind of 3 steps, not like rigid steps, but to help us go through the process. So first one is the deep reflection that we all do, right? Sometimes we have to take time. Sometimes we're not able to do with all the outside things and with the gadgets and the social media and all. We're not even spending time to reflect on what we want to. But that's the first step we have to do. We have to do the deep reflection, where we are, what we want to and all. And from there comes the realization. And once we realize, then we take the resolve. We'll be determined to do something. So we'll look into that. So in the reflection, I'll put some thoughts here. You can start doing that. Taking time in silence, you can start doing, but I'll keep some thoughts, very simple thoughts that we have to check ourselves. So as we are here to rewrite the story, we have to reflect on what it is so far. What was our main and objective so far? Please take time to write it later, but keep all these thoughts with you. It could be different for me, different for each one of us. What was the main aim and objective so far? So what's our theme of our life? Are we thinking being loved and spreading love, or respect, or happiness, or achieving some big things? We want to become some big inventor in our field, or things like that. Each one of us has a different theme in our life. What is it so far, and what do we want to do from now? And how are we going towards that aim and objective or the theme, and how you're achieving it? So what happens when we think of this? We will know if we are doing our best or not yet. We all have our aim and objective, but when we sit and reflect, we will understand how much we are doing for that, and how much we achieved, and what more to achieve. We can learn more when we spend some time in silence to reflect on our story so far. And then, do you want to change the aim to something different, something more elevated? Because in life we will be learning every day. Until yesterday it could be some theme, and today I feel like I have to aim for a little bit higher, or a little bit more elevated, or more broader. So we can look into that. And also, is the route I'm taking now, is it good? Is it enough? Or do I need to take any other steps, take any other route? So we can look into that. So please take time to reflect on these things. If you got your answers now, is good. Some answers you all might have gotten already. What's your aim and objective? What's the theme? Where we are? If we want to change, we all have might gotten some answers, but take time to reflect on that. And once we reflected a little bit, we get the realization that I am responsible for whatever happened so far. And at the same time, when we become responsible, we get the powers also. And that's a given. Once we feel responsible, the power comes from the self, the power comes from the universe, and power comes from the divine also. So that first step of realization that I am responsible will help us. And that makes us know myself more and my strengths more. And one more important realization as we go through this process, we have to underline this, bold this, and keep it always with us in our mind and everywhere. Maybe everyone's story is unique. We cannot compare to others. No one can play our role as good as we are. Our story is unique. As I was growing up, somehow was feeling very inferior, and very low, very doing very good in the school and all, but somehow feeling very inferior, and some fear that I don't know this, or I can't do this. So one of my friends gave a very good card. I still keep it with myself. It was so apt that she gave it to me. It wrote that nobody is superior, nobody is inferior, everyone is unique. So that gives us so much strength that we are unique. I look at my story, what I was yesterday, what I can be in the future with my current effort. But I do not want to look at others' story just to compare. Getting inspiration is good, getting knowledge is good from others' stories, but I don't want to live the story of others. We want to live our own life. So we can compare to our yesterday, but not compare to others just to copy their stories. So we will realize that. And then in the resolve, we all know, just to quickly go over, anything we want to be better, we resolve to be better, determination and discipline. And I hope we all carry that today, because we all took time to attend this webinar to rewrite our stories. So we will be very determined to start doing that. And some discipline we have to achieve anything, no procrastination, because this is the time to do any changes. This is the time. If not now, then never. And we all have understood that in our lives already. Sometimes we wanted to do some things, but we couldn't. And then that period passes and then we can never go back to that. So keeping that in mind, now is the time to do any changes. If not now, then never. So we'll keep that in mind and go forward. So knowing all this, we reflected on our things, and we all are here to rewrite. So we wanted to do something new, right? So, and we also realized that we can do, and we are the only ones to do that for our story. And we also took this resolve to be better. So where and how do we start? Any thoughts? Where do we want to start? How do we want to start? Somebody wrote be in the comfort zone. Okay. Any more thoughts on that? Where do we start? Deep reflection. Okay. Meditate. Yes. Perfect. And any more thoughts? Optimism. Okay. Very good. Check what is needed. That's very important. Checking and changing. The change happens only when you check. That was good. And somebody wrote visualize what you want. That's very, very important. We'll look into that also. And taking calculated risks. Okay. Realization, start from the seed, from the thoughts. Very beautiful answers. I'm very happy that we all are starting to do. Connect to the supreme power, believe in ourselves. Everything, all the answers completed the answer actually. So very nice. So very good and beautiful and elevated thoughts, right? So I learned this, I heard this from a teacher in a college. What they said is, start with the simplest. Our aim is highest. Whatever we want to do, the aim and objective, always keep it very high, elevated, that we want to achieve. But start with the simplest. That way we can practice easy. Practice the easiest. So please keep these in mind, because we want to write some things based on these things. So start with the simplest. Practice the easiest. Together, what happens? Definitely will keep those small things in practice and become perfect at them. And then this one I heard from the same teacher in the college. They told about this Kaizen technique, in a Japanese technique, it seems. Very quickly, what it means is, in a company or anywhere, they make all the people to give their ideas. They will not appoint one person to look into things. They'll keep meetings every week or so, and then they'll ask, let's say, how to make this office room better. Everyone has to give an idea. And whoever gives the idea, they have to do that work. And next week, they look into that. So let's say one said, we will clean all the desks and the computers as soon as we come to the office with a soft cloth. One person said. The other person said, I'll get a flower pot. Other person said, I'll get a plant, a very green plant. And the other person said, I will water that or something. So whoever gave that idea, they started implementing from the next day itself. So each one's idea was very simple. Each one's task was simple, but together it has become a very clean office room in a day without much effort, without much burden on one person. And after 1 week, they will put another idea. So every week they have, let's say 10 people in the team, 10 people have 10 different small ideas. The practice starts from the next day or the same day itself. And in a month, imagine how many changes they get. So that was that Kaizen technique that they use in the offices and all. So he told us how to put that in your life. So can you all raise your hands? Raise your arms like up. I hope you all did it. Can you raise some more? Okay, and I'm hoping you all did it. Now the question is, was there any difference when you raised the arms first and the second time? Did you raise your arms high to the maximum the first time? No. I got 3 answers no already. Okay, somebody said yes, maximum at the first time. Somebody said no. Okay, so out of 5 or 6 answers, 7 answers I got, one said they rose the arms to the highest the first time, but the rest all was 6. And when I did this, I also did not raise this. So 7 answers no so far. So that tells us that somehow the tendency of the mind is we're so relaxed. When we were told raise your arms, we had a chance to raise it to the maximum, but we just were so relaxed and we just rose the arms to a little bit. And when somebody asked us to raise it more, we did more. So that tells us 2 things. One is we're not doing the maximum in the first place. And then we definitely, clearly had the chance and the power to raise it to the highest the next time when we were just given another prompt to raise it higher. So if we take that into our daily lives, how much we are doing right now, definitely not to the maximum extent. And we all can do a little bit better than what we are doing, definitely much better, but to start with at least a little better we can do. So that's what he taught us. Like, let's say in math or English in the school, right, they taught us see what better you can do. Can you study 10 more minutes extra, or can you revise 10 more minutes extra? Things like that, so that we can get into our lives in whatever field we are in, whatever aspect of our life we want to get improvement. We can start checking that. Am I doing the maximum? Am I doing the maximum thing at home, at work, wherever I am? Can I improve? The answer is yes, definitely we can improve. And how can I improve? What can I do to improve? That's we want to check. So remember these things as we go further. So start with the simplest, practice the easiest, and then this technique too. This is something technique for incremental improvements. And then somebody earlier shared about visualization, which is very, very, very important. You can all churn later on, look into that later on. Only when I visualize the right thing and the best thing, that will happen. If I visualize something else that is lower or negative or something out of fear or out of weakness, that will also happen. So we better be very careful what we visualize, because what happens, some can have a question, what happens if you just visualize? How is it going to help you? But a lot happens, because when we visualize, it says the right brain becomes more creative in visualization. The left brain is more logical. It will keep asking, will it really happen? How can it happen? Do you have proof? Like that. The logical brain is questioning us. But the creative brain makes it happen. The creative brain makes the hormonal system be in balance and makes our willpower higher, and so we can achieve better. And with visualization, with our creative brain, with our creative mind, we are sending out the vibrations to the universe that I can achieve this. I see myself becoming this. So these are the thoughts I'm sending out to the universe. So what happens? We all know, right? Whatever thoughts we send out to the universe, that is what is going to come back to me. So visualization makes our right brain active, creative, and we become more creative in our thoughts, words, actions. We radiate that energy to outside, and that comes back to us, and we become that as we see ourselves. So these 4 things we'll keep in mind when we are writing some things. So visualize what you want to be. Exactly, one brother wrote that. So in that first thing we have to change is change the language of what if to it will be. Out of fear or lack of faith in ourselves, a lot of times we use this phrase, what if? What if I don't become that? What if I don't achieve that? What if my kid doesn't get into that college? What if my kid doesn't get that score in the exam? What kind of thoughts these are? They are very weak and very fear-filled, lacking faith and all those thoughts. So what happens if we are radiating that energy to ourselves or to our kids, to the universe? What happens? Everything becomes so diluted and negative. But when I say it will be, the kid will get what he has to, the best things in the exam, or I will become that person, I will get that degree, I will get that job. There's nothing wrong, right? When we say like I will, it's all only benefit. Only the problem is when we say what if, because we are inviting this energy instead of saying it will be good, it will be elevated, it will be successful. So that visualization of it will be, that is what is going to make us achieve things, which helps us to rewrite our stories also. So we have to start writing freely, not holding because of the fears or anything. And when we visualize, we use this present tense. I see myself as this person with this job or with this degree or with this service that I want to do. And I am that already. I am that already. So that is the energy we want to send out to the universe, and you can do it. At Brahma Kumaris also we are taught, and in any spiritual aspect or path you think you might have heard, it takes 21 days for anything to get manifested. Scientifically and spiritually, I think is proven that 21 days is very important practice, whatever we want to do. And we have heard experiences of some people when they visualized in the morning meditating that they got whatever they wanted, that particular job. They visualized that they already had interview, they already had the job, they did so well in the interview. 21 days if they did, and that became true. And this is all science, right? It's not just something magic or anything, magical science, that we are radiating that energy to the universe and to the self, that will come back to us. So visualization is very important when we are rewriting our stories. So starting with the simplest, practicing the easiest, and that Kaizen technique, the incremental improvements, when we start doing little more every day, and then visualizing what we are, using that present tense. I am that courageous person. If I have fear, I have to visualize I am that courageous person, winning over something. Then it happens. So now we'll start writing some things. So what's included in our story, if we ask, all these aspects or components of life are included in our story, right? Because we have to have our story complete, our life complete. So we'll take a couple of them in these and we'll look into that. So let's say physical health point of view. Are we doing our best right now to maintain our physical health? Do you want to answer? Yes, someone said yes, that is very good. Any more answers? Somebody said no, somebody said yes, not yet. No. Okay, so few had very good, that aspect of the life, very good that you're doing the fullest. That's perfect. But whoever is not doing to the fullest, you realized that you can do better. So what change? You don't have to write here. If you want to write, that's good. That helps me that someone is writing. But write it for yourself, not just here in the chat, but write it in your mind and for yourself. What you want to bring a change. What change you want to bring, keeping in mind that simplest one, easiest one, with incremental improvement, and visualizing that you can do it. Anyone wants to write? Whoever said no, what do you want to put into practice? Let's say 10 minutes of exercise to start with every day, or 20 minutes of exercise thrice a week, 10,000 steps every day. Very good. Stop eating junk food. Perfect. No junk. Be more consistent. Very good. So right now, quickly you're writing the answers. Some wrote very like a stop eating junk food. Perfect. That's the simple one, easy one. You can put into practice. Make sure today you start with that one, and be more consistent. One soul said, be more consistent. So please make sure whatever you're writing, you practice that, and you see yourself not eating that junk food within a week. You're not eating junk food, not just in a week, starting from today. You see yourself not eating junk food, saying no to the junk food, and start putting that into practice. And some said 10,000 steps every day, starting from today. Okay, and then now we'll look at a couple more aspects and then we'll move forward. At work, anybody thinks that they're not doing their full potential, full heart at work? Can do better. Okay, so yeah, this is something more to think about. Maybe can do better, somebody said. Yeah, so please look into that and see. For me, maybe more being on time, finishing my work that day itself instead of carrying to the next day. So I can make sure that I will put that improvement to finish by the end of the day. That day's work may not happen in some fields, in the tech fields and all may not happen, but at least we can start doing that. Reduce stress by planning day better. Yes, start, like very beautifully this was said, by planning the day better, meaning starting from the morning, you can start, we can say that I will wake up 10 minutes early to avoid that rush in the morning. Just 10 minutes early. That simple step, easy step to follow, waking up 10 minutes early to relieve the rush in the beginning of the day. Need to work smarter. Yes, so all those things you can look into that. And we'll just take one more. In the family, do you think you are able to accept everyone as they are, and are you able to give your love and respect to the fullest what the other person needs? Not always, no. For most part, yes, can improve though. Yes. So always we are realizing that sometimes we are able to do full, but sometimes we may not be able to. So today we'll make a note that I will not blame the other person in the family. For some it could be, and for some it could be accepting the other person, not getting angry right away. And for some other person it could be to minimize the things that irritates the others. So we can all look into that. Let's say for me, I have to stop doing some things to stop irritating the other person unnecessarily. So like that, we can take small steps. And please take time after this webinar today, when you get a chance later in the day, look into all these aspects of life and see where we are. What is that little incremental improvement that you want to bring, the easiest thing you want to practice. Like somebody already shared, 10,000 steps a day. It could be stop eating junk food, stop eating non-vegetarian like meat and animal food. That will be a very good one to start with. You can do that. So the next thing is, who is the one that is writing the story? We said that I am the author of the story. That part is very clear. Nobody else is responsible. I am the author of my story. But we have to go more deeper into that. What is that image of I that I'm holding? Because our story and theme will begin with the knowledge of the self. If I believe I'm a hero, I can do it, I will be that. I will be a hero. If I believe I'm a zero, I don't know anything, I will not be able to achieve, I can't do this, somebody else is able to do, but I'm not able to do, I'm a zero, I'll definitely become that zero. So what image I am holding for myself? There is nobody here stopping us, right? I can create an image of myself as a hero of my story and start doing that. I can start my story that I don't know anything and I'm a zero. So the choice is in our hands. And I'm sure we all are so powerful and responsible that we all feel that we are the heroes of our story. And so we will become that. We will start with that. So first step is knowing myself, being unique, not superior, not inferior, but unique hero of my story. So quickly, can you write down your whatever strength you're thinking and whatever weakness you have? If you don't want to write on the chat, just write on your paper. What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? I just want you to write the weakness also, because we want to get rid of that weakness today. Emotional is the weakness. Yes. Someone wrote being emotional is the weakness. Meaning basically we're getting easily influenced with the others' conditions or situations or emotions. We did not have the control on ourself, on our emotions. Somebody said procrastination. Yes. Courage is the strength, getting disheartened, self-doubt. So a lot of us are sharing that. So for yourself, think about it. We want to get rid of that weakness today by understanding who truly we are. So now, can you share what's missing? What component is missing in this life components? Self-care is missing. Spiritual is missing. Somebody said. Any other answers? Spirituality is missing. Okay. Any other answers? Balance in life. Okay. That comes like partly self-care, balance in life go together. Achievement. Achievement we have in all these aspects, but a couple more aspects in this that are missing. Okay, so we got answers already actually. So I'll move forward. Travel, okay, that comes in the self-care, in the leisure. So the two components are spiritual and leisure. So you all shared already spirituality, a lot of you shared, and the self-care, travel, all that comes in the leisure. Like we all are understanding, we are so focused on the work, finances, the social wellness, mental wellness, physical wellness. Sometimes we're not even giving that silence to our sense organs, that rest to our physical body, and so we're not giving that rest to our mind also. So that self-care, giving the rest to our physical senses and the subtle sense organs, the mind and our intellect, that's very important. Like someone shared travel, that could be giving for someone peace and relaxation, but it can be at home also. But if we give that time for our self-care. And then one most important thing that forms the basis of all these aspects of life, that forms the basis to keep all these aspects in line, is that spiritual aspect of our life that forms the basis for everything. So we will look into that now. So what is spirituality? A lot of times people go far from spirituality, thinking that it's a path of renunciation. But actually spirituality is a path that makes all our paths to be in line and to be successful. We have to do everything what we are doing in our lives, and we can do the best when we become more understanding in this spirituality. And it's not about developing a new personality. It's not acquiring something new, but it's about rediscovering our reality. What we were thinking ourselves so far and what we are now is what is spirituality going to teach us. And it's like a manual for our mind. Our mind has become so chaotic, so confused with all the external influences and all. But this spirituality gives us the user manual for our mind, so we can become more creative, more visualization we can do, and more positive thinking will come. So how that comes, we'll see. So far, we all understood I am the author of my life. But if we look more deeper into this, is it me? Like the person I am now, the role I am playing now is the author? Or who is the real author? So whatever we wrote so far, our weaknesses, they were based on our current understanding of the self. I was thinking I have more fear. Somebody else thinking they're more angry. Somebody was thinking they're emotionally more unstable. That was the understanding of the self on a physical level. But what is the reality? We all notice, but we're forgetting it again and again. So we have to make it natural. I, the soul, am the author of my life, of the author of my story, not the person I am now. If I am playing the role of a physician now, that's not me. That name or the role is not me. I, the soul, the point of light, the living energy, I am this living energy, the soul. I am the author of my story. I am using this physical body to play my roles here, to do my responsibilities here. And I stay to show, to indicate it is in the center of the forehead, but the soul is located at the junction of the hypothalamus and pituitary glands, the master glands of the endocrine system. That's where the soul is located, behind the eyes. And that's very important location and the best location, because the soul, which has the mind creating the thoughts, the thought creates the emotion, and that emotion is giving the signal to the nervous system. The emotion is giving the signal to the hormonal system, and that's making the whole body function. So I, the soul, I am the author of my story. If we remember that, that will change the whole story. That will dissolve all the weaknesses, that will emerge all the powers that are within us. So we have to make it very natural. Let's say if somebody called by my name, I'm in this middle of the webinar, or it could be I'm writing my exam or something, somebody called by my name, immediately I turn to that side, because that name has become so natural for us. Very similarly, we have to get this practice. I, the soul, I'm playing all these roles. Then all those soul's qualities emerge, all those powers emerge, and we can start writing our stories. So I'll share a very quick example why it is so important to be soul conscious. If you were attending prior webinars and all, that was the basis of the teaching at Brahma Kumaris, that self and the divine connection, right? And the power of the self. So one brother, elderly brother, he came to the meditation center. He was going through a lot of troubles, and that his kids' studies, he was not able to give them good sustenance regarding that, and his home was in trouble. So many troubles were going on. So he came to the meditation center, and they gave all the knowledge and everything. And then the teacher told him, today in the meditation, experience that you are an embodiment of happiness. So this elderly brother said, sister, I am so much in all these deep troubles, not able to do anything good at work or at home for the kids. How can I say I'm an embodiment of happiness when I'm like drowned in all these troubles? But the sister only said, you're currently experiencing those troubles. That is there for sure. You have to overcome them. But the way to overcome is to get that power from the divine and to immerse that happiness that is already in you with the help of the divine energy. You fill yourself with that happiness, and then you radiate that and see what happens. Experiment, she said. You didn't have a choice. You were going through troubles. You were thinking about the troubles, but not going anywhere. But now God is teaching you, you are this embodiment of happiness and power that you are already, and immerse them, fill yourself from God, and see what happens. So he said, okay, this sounds the right way. And he started doing meditation. And in 6 months, his kids could get into good education. Things started slowly working out at the office. And then in 2 years, he was able to get his home back and all these things. And that was the real experience. So he went through all the troubles, but with courage and happiness, that was inside him, bringing that out and getting more help from the divine, instead of just getting sunken in those troubles. With the soul power and with the help of the divine energy, he was able to rewrite his story that went wrong for whatever reason. So that is why it's so important that we have to get this soul consciousness. Knowing is one thing, but getting into that consciousness and practicing that, becoming natural in that, is the next thing. And then once we remember that soul, like that brother experienced that and became happy and embodiment of happiness, similarly we can experience all these powers. Like one sister shared, emotionally unstable. Why is that? Maybe we're not completely emerging our love that is inside us, or peace inside us, so we're getting under the influence of others. So we can take one quality every day or every week, every day for 1 week, like that, and start practicing with one quality that's already in the soul. We just have to emerge those qualities and saying again, visualizing again, that I am a being of happiness. I see myself happy at home, happy at work, happy in the family. So I become that happy person, become that loving person, that pure energy, the pure person, because I'm emerging these qualities from inside. And also, you all might have heard this in the past also, we all have these powers within us already. It's just that we have to be in that consciousness that I, the soul, I'm playing all these roles and I have all these powers to tolerate, to accommodate, to discern what's good, what's bad, to judge my decisions, and to face something that is coming in front of me, which is less stronger than me, but it's just appearing as stronger. So I face it with the inner courage and I cooperate in the home, work, everywhere, and things like that. We all have inside us, but we can only emerge them when I remember who truly am I. So that's the practice we need to make. And our story also depends on our parents, on our background, right? We all agree that, right? Sometimes we all say that also, because of that, it's like this, because that so and so person had that help, he could do that. So story depends on the parents, the background, and everything. So who is our parent now? Our parent is the Supreme God Himself. If we remember that, the ultimate reality, that we are the children of God, we have our physical parents and all, we have all this help, but the ultimate reality, the father of the fathers, is the mother and mother, the mother of all the mothers, the support of all the physical supports is God Himself. So if we remember that, that also changes our perspective of ourselves and of our life. And then we can begin writing the story that elevated. We are representing God because we are children of God, and we have His support, His help, His sustenance always. So how our story will be? Very elevated, very beautiful, right? So remembering that I, the soul, this power, this pure consciousness, the light, the energy, I am residing in this body, doing this role with that power, inner power, and I'm the child of the supreme parent, supreme authority, God, that will help us change the story also. And so start writing your story from today, remembering that you are this light energy, the master, the hero, the child of God. playing the role of so and so, whatever was given to us in this life. And then to just quickly remember whatever we need to write in our lives, we need the paper, right? So our life is our paper, and our mind is connecting with God and making our mind crystal clean. Once I connect to God, all the impurities, the flaws are removed, and I become crystal clear. With that clarity, I get God's knowledge and God's helping hand, and I can I can pen elevated actions in my life. So if we remember that, we can start doing better. And one more important thing in this, we'll quickly go over. You can reflect and churn more later on, and you can write down on your paper. Always remembering the 3 aspects of the time, and remembering that this is the story of not just this one life. This is the story of life after life, because I, the author, the soul, I am eternal, and I play roles after roles after roles in life after life. So whatever actions I perform now, the effect of that action will be there always. So I have to do the right actions, the elevated actions. And when can I do that? When I put a full stop to the past, saying that I do not have control of the past. I do not take any guilt of the past, because anything of the past will only halt my progress. Only the experiences from the past help, but the guilt or the resentment or anything of the past will only lower our energy. So I do not focus on the past. I have the full freedom and the time to think about the future only now. And I have the time to do the right actions, the right karma now. So if we remember that, we can act better also. And so one very important thing in rewriting our story is clearing our karmic accounts. This is very deep aspect, but I want you all to churn more and think more after this webinar. Because karmic accounts means the things that we do for ourselves or others, and the nature and all these things will be affecting our story also. So if we do the right actions, the right time, elevated actions, that will help. And how do we clean our accounts is just accepting everyone as is. Because if I do not accept, I create anger, I create hurt, I create sadness, and from there again comes hatred and anger. So instead of that, I be in my true self state. I am a soul. I'm already filled with power to accept, and I'm filled with happiness, filled with love, and I will only give that. And I see the other person equally as a soul with all those powers playing that particular role they are given. So keep accepting people, accommodating the self, and the people will help us not create any wrong thoughts, which will stem the wrong actions later on. So that way we can keep our karma clean. And connection with God and the divine energy. God is so merciful. In his remembrance, he makes some of the effect of that wrong actions that we did go away. He purifies us. He makes the sins absolved, and he gives that power to not to commit to any sinful action from now. So wherever we are, whatever we are doing, keeping God as our companion in our thoughts. He is only a thought away. He's not right now with me physically, but because he's an energy. So the minute I think of him, his sustenance, his energy, his guidance, his helping hand is with me. And that helps me not to do any wrong actions. And then one more important thing to perform the right karma is gratitude of for what we have now. We have a lot of things that a lot of people can't even think in their lives. We have the time, we have the knowledge and all these things. So that gratitude makes us more powerful, more encouraging to do more better things, elevated things. And whatever we have, we start giving that to others. I give happiness to my family members, to the people at work. I give love, I give respect without expecting. And so beautifully, we will get that. If we just stop that expectation and start giving to the nature and others, it automatically comes to us. So, being the true self, who I am, in connection with God, gratitude and attitude of serving will help clean our actions accounts. So that makes us rewrite our story easily. So most importantly, like we discussed in the first slide, whoever transformed their lives, rewrote their stories, influenced millions of people. Very similarly, if we transform our lives, if we rewrite our stories, we can be an inspiration to others also. So at any given moment, we have the power to say that it's not how the story is going to end. So whatever happened, happened, but the ending will depend on me, what I do today. So if we remember that, we can start at any moment. So we have a very, very special talk from Sister Shivani on October 30th, 5 p.m. on the occasion of Diwali. Be the light and be light. I think some of you, most of you know Sister Shivani already. She's a very, very sweet and great mentor, teacher, and she helps us to understand these deep aspects of life, very simple, very practical ways. So I encourage you all to save this time and date to attend this talk from Sister Shivani. We'll sit in a few minutes of meditation now. Sit comfortably. Relax your body. Gently focus your thoughts, the center of the forehead. Visualize, experience shining, beautiful point of light, the pulsating, living energy, the soul. I am a peaceful being of light. As I create this thought of peace, I start experiencing that energy of peace. I am a peaceful being of light. I am the author of my story. I have all the knowledge in myself, all the powers in myself to rewrite my story. I, the soul, am the master of myself. I only create peaceful, powerful, elevated thoughts. I speak to my mind with love. So there's no chaos in the thoughts. I create thoughts based on my qualities of peace, love, respect, happiness. My words and actions are filled with these powers of peace, love, and happiness. I, the soul, am the child of God, the supreme light, the supreme energy, and He is my supreme parent, my mother, father, teacher, and guide. And God is my companion in this journey of my life after life. I keep my mind connected to God, my supreme parent, and experience His helping hand in whatever I do. And I start rewriting my story. I am the child of God. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. So we have a lot of events and online classes every month, and we have this from October 10th, Nurturing with Love and Wisdom for the parents. And then we also have living values classes every weekend for kids also. And we have free well-being webinars at workplace, and you can submit your request. If you have a topic in mind or any questions, you submit a request and our teacher, Sister Kusum, will respond. And then we have online Raj Yoga meditation courses. The Raj Yoga meditation that we are taught here at Brahma Kumaris is about the knowledge of the self, the God, and our connection with God. So we have every month. This month it already started, and this 9th of October, and we have every month also, so you can start joining. And then our organization is a non-profit organization founded in 1936, and we have over a million practicing members worldwide, and we have global presence in 130 plus countries with more than 8,000 centers. And our motto is to share the spiritual knowledge that enables the self-transformation and thereby the world transformation, and to transform the perspective of the world from material to spiritual. And then locally, we have Brahma Kumaris Silicon Valley Center in Milpitas, and our teacher is Sister Kusum, and she's our teacher, mentor, guide, everything. She has been here in Bay Area for 26 years, and she has surrendered her life for this godly service for the last 39 years. And she's very approachable, and she always teaches us all these deeper aspects of spiritual knowledge, and keeps ourselves close to the true self and God. So she helps us a lot. And we have 200 regular students attend our daily spiritual Murli classes, and we have these webinars every week and many other events as mentioned earlier. And we are open partly, so you can mail Sister Kusum and make an appointment. And we are located at 540 South Abel Street, Milpitas. And our website has a lot of information on the courses we offer, on our events, and a new students resource which has a lot of meditation videos and audios, so you can practice that. And contributions are welcome. We do not charge for any of our events, and they are tax deductible. Please let us know if you have any questions.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
Thank you for an interesting session. It was actually more of a workshop because we are all reflecting together, thinking about our strengths, weaknesses, and then writing our own story together. So thank you again. It was beautiful. And thank you for making us realize that we can rewrite our own story in whichever way we like. And the story will always be beautiful and powerful if the author is the soul and not the role, and if we have God on our side. Thank you again. And moving on to the questions, would you like to share any practices which maybe have helped you and we can use in our day-to-day lives to be in awareness of soul and to be in company of God?
Yeah. The practices are the daily morning meditations. As soon as you wake up, always we are taught, and that really helps to practice. As soon as we wake up, telling ourselves that I, the soul, am a peaceful being of light, and I am the child of God. Just one thought in the morning when we first wake up, and a lot of us know that we all think something is going so good during the day. We say that, oh, who did we see today? The first thing when I woke up, everything is going so good, right? It's going so good. So very similarly, if we just think of ourselves that this beautiful energy we are, and I am a child of God, I am peaceful, all, and God is with me in whatever I'm doing today, and just letting him know that I am doing this. That first thought as soon as we wake up helps. And we also practice whenever we are going out, telling God that, okay, I go. And we call God as Father. Some of you may call Mother, or if you want to say teacher, whichever way you want to say it in your language. That gives you a lot of power and love. So in Hindi, we say Baba for God, right? So Baba, I'm going out. Let's come with me and be with me in whatever I'm doing. Just one thought, he becomes responsible. Exactly how you tell to your parents and grandparents when you go out to get their blessings and have their presence with you in the thoughts. Exactly, if you just, when you go out, telling God that, okay, we are going out, come with me, be with me, and take care, he becomes automatically responsible. And in whatever work we are doing, again, same thought. Baba, God is making me do it, and I'm doing it. So that company makes us light and courageous and helpful. I hope that helps.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. We don't have any more questions, sister. We would like to wrap it up here.
Okay, thank you. Om Shanti.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And we will see you next Saturday for a brand new webinar. And don't forget to register for Sister Shivani's event, which is on 30th October. Thank you for joining us today. Have a peaceful day ahead. Om Shanti.